This is why you don't buy a Commodore, folks. Australian made does not mean it's good. Come on, come on. Stupid Ecotech frickin' Commodore.
Can I try?
Australia, mate. Hey guys, SAMMIT here. That was for the memes, but anyways, we're working on the 34. First thing this morning, I've already finished editing yesterday's video, which will go up later this afternoon. But first thing that's gonna happen is I need to pull this battery out. We need to get the bicarb soda all down in there and pressure cleaned a little bit to like kind of get it all, you know what I'm saying. And then after that, I'm gonna put the air temperature sensor in the J pipe here. Need to get that right in front of the throttle body. That's where you need to have your air temperature sensor on any engine when you're doing these kind of aftermarket ECUs, because you need the most accurate reading of what your air temperature is as it's entering the engine. You can't put it in the intake manifold because depending on where it is in the intake manifold, the air temperature can vary, give it wrong readings, blah, 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 you know what I'm saying. So we're gonna do that. I'm also gonna put the wideband sensor in the down pipe there as well and get that all wired into where the ECU is ready for that plug that I'm getting today. And then once all that's done, leave it here. We're gonna jump in the bomber door and then we're gonna head to the workshop, get that cable for the Link ECU. I'm gonna work with Semi. I've already called the dyno tuner and I'm actually pushing the dyno to tomorrow, just so that when I come back later tonight, I can plug in the O2 sensor, do a little bit of road tuning tonight, and then tomorrow I'll take it to the dyno and we'll get this thing tuned up. It's gonna be very easy because everything's really stock and factory. The only other thing I need to do is get rid of the old fuel that's in there and put fresh stuff in. So anyways, enough talking, let's jump right into it. Okay, so I've given the whole car like a rinse off and it looks so much better because it looks much cleaner. Obviously I need to give it a proper wash later on with some soap and whatnot. But the main thing we need to do now is put this bicarb soda down wherever the acid hit, and you can see now that like as I've pressure cleaned it, all the paint that's come off because of the acid and stuff. So what you got to do is just dump it everywhere to try and neutralize any acid that's gotten through. It's a bit of a pain and you're going to get it everywhere in your engine bay, but I'd rather put this down everywhere and then clean it all out a couple times than have to keep dealing with acid corrosion. Okay, so I've made a mess. There's bicarb soda everywhere, absorbing and soaking up all the leftover acid and whatnot. So what I'm going to do while I'm letting that soak is take the J pipe out, put the air intake temperature sensor in, also going to put the wideband in, and I'm going to swap out the map sensor from the factory 2-bar one to the 4-bar one that comes from Link. And yeah, we'll throw it on the time lapse and get everything started. Okay, so I got the battery all reinstalled. Everything's all still kind of drying from when I did the final hose out to get rid of all of the bicarb soda. I've got the wideband sensor installed in there down into the downpipe, which then comes to the little plug here. So when I go pick up that plug and wiring that's coming from Link, we'll run that to there into the ECU. The other thing that I've done as well is I disconnected the factory kind of solenoid for knowing what boost was going on. This is going to go to my new boost solenoid. I forgot that I had that with the Link kit. This will get unplugged as well, and then we might try and make an intake pipe for that later on. But for now I'll probably just leave the MAF there because that's one of those special pod filters that has the 4 bolts on it for a MAF. And then what I'm going to do is while I'm at the workshop is I'm going to look up the wiring diagram for this plug that goes to the factory map sensor on this Nissan car. I'm not sure if it's this guy here or this guy. I'm pretty sure it's this one because it says boost sensor, so that's probably the map sensor, but I want to look up what this one is too and see if I can remove that. But anyways, I've got the J-pipe with me because I need to also thread the hole in that, and we've got all that in the bomber door. So I'm going to just close the bonnet, lock the car, leave it here while we go to the workshop, get all of that, and then we'll continue the vlog from there, right? So we're now at the garage and I'm trying to get this loose bob off. There's obviously like an O-ring or something that's missing because look how loose that is. I'm like 99% sure that'll leak boost when we go to the dyno. So I need to get this huge circlip off in there, which is being a real pain in the butt. So I'm going to throw you on the time lapse and get that done. Then we're going to thread the hole that I drilled for the air intake sensor because I can't get a straight path into that to tap it with this in the way. So I need to get it off regardless. Anyways, let's go. So I've got the air intake temp sensor all in there with the Teflon sealant. I've also put a new heat resistant O-ring on the bob to stop that, make sure that wasn't leaking because the old one got super flattened and it's all brittle and old. And then ETOL Priority arrived and I got my cable for the CAN bus for connecting my wideband sensor Lambda kit from Link to the ECU. So tonight we are road tuning the Skyline, which is going to be awesome. The only other thing I need to look up now is how to wire in the 4-bar map sensor and the boost control solenoid into the existing wiring loom. I've decided I'm not going to actually bother with setting up the accessory loom with the extra inputs and stuff because I just don't need it yet. So I'm just going to leave that unplugged in the glove box for when we do upgrades in the future. And I'd rather just use a factory loom, which means I need to do some research on circuit diagram stuff. And this is Maka, by the way.
Hello.
He runs a YouTube channel called Grip Runner. He hasn't been super active because he's been focusing on Facebook, which kind of sucks. So tell him in the comment section how much he needs to be back on YouTube. All right, so I was working on sensors and wire diagrams and stuff. And a customer rocked up in his imported MR2. He's got some pretty nice tips in there. I can fit probably both fists in there. Whole shoe in there. Thing sounds really nice for an NA 3S GE.
Passes the fist test.
Do you mind?
Yeah, go for it.
Wrong one. That's that one. Yeah, I'll just grab it. Has a really nice note to it.
I normally don't like huge exhaust tips, but it adds.
He's got the Hello Kitty cup holder. The I won't touch it because my hands are greasy, but he's got a really nice love heart. Train subway handle. You just grabbed a couple more and the last Yashio factory shirt. I'll send this to Okachan. We need to put like a big Yashio factory sticker on it, and I'll send him a picture and be like, your #1 fan in Australia, and he'll be like, Demo Sylvia Janayo. All right, so we all jumped on this and tag teamed it and got it all back together.
Hi guys, SAMMIT here.
We're just finding one more vac line to put on, and then this thing should be running. It's running a Microtech ECU, and this thing's got some pretty cool like Jap parts on there. The coolest thing being the Jun oil cap, filler cap, I don't know what you call it. But no, just in general, like just the Greddy turbo kit, how that's running the Japanese branded Siemens injectors. It's just got some cool nostalgic like kind of feel to it, and all the Greddy bolt-on parts, genuine stuff. Hey, he found it. He found the vac line we were looking for. Cool. All right, so this thing will be starting soon. And then, yeah, we'll go from there. To get in the head, and then the lifters will start. All right, so I'm back from the workshop. Got a whole bunch of stuff to reconnect back up, get all the sensors finished, wired in, and we're pretty much good to now start road tuning the car. So I'm gonna focus on all of that, throw you guys on the time lapse while there's still light, the sun's setting right now. Let's get to it. Okay, so I have all the sensors wired in now, and don't worry, this is not how I'm going to leave it. This is just temporarily until I can take this thing to the workshop, put some conduit on the wires, get some extra vac lines so I can put my map sensor up on the firewall there and things like that. So don't freak out, it's just temporary so I can get this road tuned so that I can drive it tomorrow, get it to the dyno and things like that after we take it to the workshop in the morning and tidy it up. So what I'm going to do now is jump on my laptop and start configuring everything with the new sensors and how I've set it all up, and then I'll go from there. So the weather has put an end to my fun. Unfortunately, after I got all the sensors wired, I started setting up the ECU, getting it ready to start doing road tuning, but I'm having problems where the map sensor is not reading correctly on the ECU or something because it is unable to calibrate itself. So I have no idea what's going on. I'm a bit frustrated. I double checked my wiring on the plug and everything, and that's fine. So I'm now triple checking the pinout and seeing if the pinout matches the configuration on the ECU. But now the weather's rolling in and I can't really work on it while it's doing this. So it's a huge storm rolling in as well. I don't know if you'll see any lightning and thunder, but yeah, it's kind of crappy. So what I'm going to end up doing is, if I can't figure this out tomorrow morning first thing, I'm going to do some research while I'm inside before I go to bed. But if I can't figure it out in the morning, I'll end up just towing the car to the workshop. We'll sort it out there. I'll tidy up all the wiring, and then we'll either be able to give it a quick road tune, or I'll just get it towed to the dyno and we'll do it all there. Because the 34 has a whole, like the whole ECU, there you go, wow. The ECU is entirely different to the 33, so everything that I'm kind of used to with mine is completely different configuration wise, and where all the different sensors and how the wiring loom and the pinout on the ECU is different. So anyways, it's a headache, but yeah, that's that for now, and I'll head inside now. So I've been doing a whole bunch of research, and I couldn't give up, right? Have you ever had something that you just, no matter what you do, you're just like, no, I can't give up on this? So I was inside for about an hour and I did a whole bunch of research, and I found some information that was talking about the vacuum lines that go to the map sensor and stuff, and how you need to replace them, because that little air filter thing there isn't actually an air filter. It actually kind of seals itself and creates a vacuum still within the tube, and if you do that, it'll give the map sensor false readings and all this crap. So anyways, I grabbed another piece of vac line and connected it directly to the manifold to the map sensor, and now when I tell it to calibrate, it does it successfully, no problems. So, in theory now, this should all work. Yep. Car is idling pretty good. Let me connect the ECU back again. Yeah. We're in a map now. Let's see what happens if I blip the throttle. Oh my gosh, I fixed it. I can street tune now. Oh man, that was what the problem was all along. Oh man, I spent like 5 hours on this. Ah! Okay, so I'm much happier with how the videos ended now. Previously, I came inside and I just wrapped up the vlog, and I was like, man, this sucks. I couldn't get it working. I didn't get to go out and road tune because of this weird map sensor issue. And now, after I did a bunch of research and it was racking my brain, I'm like, no, it's got to be something simple. I figured out that the little thing that looks like an air filter, like a vacuum line filter, those things that you get in like boost controller kits and stuff like that, it's what it looks like. But what it actually is once vacuum gets in there, it doesn't let vacuum escape, so it like seals and keeps a vacuum in the tube going to the map sensor. So I found it on this weird forum somewhere where someone was like, the moment he got rid of that, it fixed all the problems. So I was like, maybe that thing is doing the same thing on mine. So I pulled that piece out, put just a straight vac line to the map sensor. Then all of a sudden I could calibrate it, and it was working and it was reading correctly. And now my fuel table is actually reacting the way it should. So now I can do a street tune just to get me by, to get me to the workshop, then to get me to the dyno tune tomorrow. So things are looking much better. It means tomorrow morning I'll be street tuning the car. I've got to tidy up some more things in that engine bay though, just to get me to the workshop, so I can then tidy it up some more. So I got to do a little bit of dodgy stuff, I guess, to make it drivable with, if you understand what I mean. Then once we tidy everything up at the workshop with all the stuff that's there, we're going to the dyno tuner. We're going to tune the car, and I'm not going to even bother trying to road tune the car in boost. I'm going to try and stay out of boost the entire way. So it's pretty much means I'm not going to be doing anything over 80 kilometers an hour. Anyways, guys, I'm really pumped because potential problem, solved it, fixed it, and tomorrow means dyno's still happening. So fingers crossed everything goes well from there. Thanks heaps for watching. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Ja mata.